70s. And I got to tell you, it was an interesting time. There were no cell phones. Therefore, there was no documentation and no indictments. Shit, everything we did could have ended up in an indictment. You know, it was an interesting time because we used to go to strip clubs. We would drink scotch. It was an awful lot of fun. We'd smoke cigars. Guys now go to kava bars. You know kava bars? Guys go to kava bars. They smoke blueberry vapes. They drink kombucha. They roll joints with filters on them. I've never seen a joint with a filter on it. The thing that really kills me is they sit around and they talk about their feelings. We didn't have feelings. We had cocaine. We had Quaaludes, but we didn't have feelings. You know, and what happened to pubic hair? I remember as a kid, there was a lot of shag. There was no hardwood like there is today. There was no hardwood. And it occurs to me, you know, you had to be very intrepid when you were my age back then to go muff diving. There was a very, very specific technique to this. Let me show you. All right, ready? You wanted to get all those loose hairs out of the way. Now that we're older, now we don't worry about that. It's more the same blow, but it just gets the dust out of the way. You know, it's sort of like one of those 80s Nintendo cartridges before you put it in the machine. So, you know, menopause for us was a very difficult time. My poor wife, she really suffered. I mean, she would be sweating bullets all the time. I asked her what it was like. She said it was like burning from the inside out. I said, oh, I get it. It's like when I eat a really spicy Italian meal. I woke up a half hour later, she was standing over me with the rolling pin. And, you know, we had our own personal climate crisis going on in the house. She would set the thermostat down to like 65. I'd walk into the bedroom. We'd have intermittent flurries. It was like ridiculous. I'm in bed one night and I hear, a little loud, a little faster. You know, I'm starting to think, all right, she's in the bullpen warming up, right? No, I roll over and she's got the little fan from her nightstand, just trying to cool herself off. I had a complete different activity in mind. Do you know menopause for an Italian woman is just Mother Nature's way of reminding her that she's going to be dealing with facial hair for the rest of her life? My Nona at age 70 had such a luxurious beard, she was asked to front for a ZZ Top cover band. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but you know how you know you're getting old as a man? Your balls are as long as a CVS receipt. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to like to get buzzed. You know, we'd hang out in somebody's basement, smoke a few joints, drink a six-pack, put on some Led Zeppelin, have a lot of fun. Now, I try and recapture that feeling, and I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. Finally, it occurs to me that all I really need to do is stand up real fast, and I just let my blood pressure take over. When I was feeling really, really a lot of pain, I've had maybe 12 orthopedic surgeries, knees, hips, back. And I go to the doctor, he takes x-rays, he puts them up on the screen. And I'm like, what is all this white, cloudy shit? He says, it's arthritis. I said, oh, thank God, I thought it was bone cancer. I said, it's very painful. I'm very stiff all the time. He says, well, we could give you some meds to take care of that. He says, but, you know, you got to understand, you have arthritis head to toe. Arthritis makes everything stiff. Not everything. Not everything. You know, when I was moving down to Florida, people asked me, are you going to miss the seasons? And I was like, well, maybe, I don't know. But now I've been down here almost 10 years, and I know Florida actually has 4 seasons, right? You got dry, you got pollen, you got love bugs, and you got hurricane season. Now, My favorite is love bug season. You know, you're driving down 75, you're doing 90 just to stay up with traffic. The copulating love bugs are hitting the fucking windshield like, I don't know, like machine gun fire. You go home, you got to clean all the schmutz off the window. You get the Windex, you get the paper towels, you're rubbing. And it occurs to me, these copulating love bugs are really like Mother Nature's cum stain, because no matter how much you scrub, there's always a little bit of residue left behind. All right, that's my time. I'm Uncle Rocky.